All right. Finally, some excitement. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Talk Raptors. I'm your host, Sham, my channel where you get reviews, analysis, predictions, and hot takes on all things Raptors as well as some NBA. So don't mind the look. It is freaking cold in Toronto. Starting to get even colder now. And I like to have some, facial hair to make sure my pretty face stays a little bit warm. But just kidding. And, everybody's probably wondering why I haven't made too many videos this season. And it's been because the Raptors haven't really done anything. And they've been stuck where they have been stuck for the past 3 years. There's no point in reviewing the same thing again and again. And like Einstein said, doing the same thing again and again is nothing short of insanity. So that is why I haven't done much of it. But today I am excited and let's get into it. So without further ado, let's talk Raptors changes. So we were all coming into this season thinking that Scottie Barnes will take the next step. Pascal would probably become more consistent. OG Anunoby will take the next step. Gary Trent, etc., will do the next, get better. And Darko will figure out some exciting scheme where the Raptors will become this, competitive team. Unfortunately, that has not happened up until this point. The Raptors have stayed a team that is mediocre to below average. Currently, I think in the 11th to 12th spot. And right now they're playing the Detroit Pistons. And it looks like we're going to allow the Detroit Pistons to break their losing streak. And as part of that, it's like, what the hell was going on with the Raptors? They were completely boring, stuck in the same spot. And, you still watch the games as a fan, but you wanted something else to happen because Scottie Barnes has taken the next step. He has shown that he has the all-star potential and to become somebody that we can rely on as a main focal point. Whereas if you look at Pascal and OG, it was the same thing. It seemed like they were both the same type of player and not really fitting into the system. And Pascal remained inconsistent. One game he will be like an all-star. The other game he will be like, a bench player. And OG had a slump in the middle. His defense is good, but, it's not as great as it was. Maybe it has to do with his injuries. Precious Achiuwa, same thing, making mistakes, not really understanding the game, not upping his assists, etc. Malachi Flynn remaining inconsistent. Chris Boucher is not really getting much play time. Gary Trent Jr. kind of taking a step back. He's not even, as much of a scorer as he used to be. Dennis Schroeder, again, doing a couple of good games and not really. So overall, nothing really exciting. But today, finally, the Raptors have made some moves that I think, even though I love OG Anunoby, I think they're good. And I wanted OG Anunoby to be extended by the Raptors moving forward just because of his defensive paralysis. And because what I wanted to see him if Pascal was to be moved. But the Raptors decided to trade OG Anunoby today to the New York Knicks with Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Flynn. In exchange, the Raptors received the Canadian boy RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly and a second-round pick in this year's draft. How do I grade this for the New York Knicks first? I would give it a C. And I think that's what you expect from the New York Knicks management. They're technically a very stupidly run organization. Because what they did was they gave away two of their young players for OG Anunoby, who is on a contract that ends at the end of the season and he can go anywhere. He's an unrestricted free agent unless he decides to pick up his player option, which is unlikely because currently OG Anunoby is making $19 million a year. He's likely getting 23 to 25, especially given that in New York he'll probably get more offensive responsibilities. His numbers will likely go up. His defense will likely, because New York doesn't really play much defense, and Thibodeau is a defensive coach, so he's going to love using OG Anunoby. So he's going to become a lot more expensive. And there's a possibility New York might not be able to keep him, given that they're a middle of the pack type of team as well. But it is a big market, and I think OG wanted to leave the Raptors because, again, he wasn't happy with the role that he was being given. So it was unlikely that the Raptors would be able to keep him. Then we gave away Precious Achiuwa. Again, he has shown glimpses of being athletic, this and that, but his basketball IQ, his decision making, improvement in his skill set like shooting, etc., hasn't really happened. So they took somebody like that. And same thing with Malachi Flynn. It seemed like Malachi Flynn was stuck in the same spot. He had flashes of being good, but nothing really to make you say, oh, this is a guy we want to keep, whether it's for the bench in the future or as a starter. And they also gave away their second rounder, which means that, second rounders are usually given priority for the teams that are late in the first round, right? So overall C for them. Now, for the Raptors, I know a lot of people are going to be sad. They're going to be like, oh, we didn't get a haul for OG Anunoby, this and that. But people have to understand this. The Raptors were... So the grade I would give it is an A minus. A minus because we're losing a little bit of defense. And regardless of how Precious Achiuwa was in regards to his decision making, etc., the fact is the man was an athlete and he was there on the defensive end. He was versatile, etc. Malachi Flynn, I really don't care. He's actually equivalent to a second rounder. And with OG Anunoby, you're also losing some defense because he was your main focus in the defensive end. So that's where the A minus comes in. It's not an A plus because of those reasons. But otherwise, the Raptors were very, very smart in getting rid of an expiring contract with no guarantee that OG would be back, given the fact that he wanted more of an offensive role. You got rid of a player for two young guns who fit at the same timeline as Scotty Barnes. RJ Barrett has shown each and every year improvement in his game. The reason he hasn't really shown to be an all-star or a player of that caliber is because he was in a market where people just raid on anybody that makes a mistake. That's New York, New York Knicks. That's what they're known for. Their fan base will love you or they will either hate you. And then the Raptors got him now until 2026, 2027, which means that another 3 to 4 years, you got this kid under contract within $20 to $27 million cap hit, which is not bad because you would have had the same thing with OG Anunoby. But again, you've had OG Anunoby for 4 to 5 years or even longer, and there hasn't been that type of thing where you're like, oh my God, this is a guy we need to keep. So, and there was no guarantee he was going to sign or take that player option, right? So good on the Raptors. And then you also, I think the steal in this trade is Emmanuel Quickley. That kid is quick. It's in his name. He's a good point guard. He's also a point guard a shooting guard masquerading as a point guard. He has, he's really good on the defensive end. He's witty. He puts in the work, and he's worth $4 million at this time. He's probably going to be around $8 million coming, in the free agency, but he's a restricted free agent. So which means the Raptors can keep him by just matching the offer. So you gave up 2 expiring contracts because if you look at it, Precious Achiuwa, there was no guarantee he wanted to re-sign because, of course, he's the type of guy that wants to have more of an offensive role as well, starting minutes, etc. of those things. So there was no guarantee he was going to be a restricted free agent. But, there was no guarantee that the offer that came for him, the Raptors would be able to match that. Whereas now, you got rid of OG Anunoby, who was likely going to take the same amount of money as RJ Barrett. You got a younger guy, less injury prone, left-handed, who's shown considerable improvement and who's a Canadian. So you improved on that front. Then you also got Emmanuel Quickley, young guy who you can match an offer for because now you have money to do it with by getting rid of Malachi Flynn's salary, Precious Achiuwa's salary. And you will be getting younger. You will be probably getting a point guard that either can come off the bench for you or a shooting guard that can come off because he's kind of both, or somebody who you can insert into the starting role and allow him to run the point, etc. Right? So overall, a great move by the Raptors for the future, especially given the longevity of RJ Barrett's contract and the improvement he has shown, and the same thing with Emmanuel Quickley, because he has shown improvement each and every year as well. Now, what comes next? I think if I'm looking at it, the Pascal Siakam is still on the trading block. There might be an indication that he, after getting rid of OG Anunoby, do we want to keep Pascal? But I think Pascal's contract is the same thing, man. It's way going to be way too expensive for the level of consistency that we receive. The Raptors should get a haul for him as well. And now I think what the Raptors need to do is, instead of focusing on getting players for Pascal, look at getting draft capital that you can use to get maybe another player, or at least get something in the draft moving forward. And there's teams out there that really want Pascal, unless you're getting awesome young players, right? And that would also allow you some cap space to be able to make moves this offseason that you need to make, because at this time, this team needs to be directed towards Scotty Barnes, right? Scotty Barnes needs to be the main guy. And as long as Pascal stays around, Scotty will never be that guy. And this could also mean that the Raptors are maybe moving on from Gary Trent Jr., given the fact that they brought in Emmanuel Quickley to be able to come off the bench, or Dennis Schroeder they might be moving on from, because honestly, they haven't shown us the production that we need. And today is the deadline for the Raptors to extend Pascal, and nothing has come out just yet. So I'm hoping that they are going to be moving him. And there's no guarantee the Raptors, Pascal will sign, even though he has said it. Players say it all the time. But there's no guarantees to do what's best for this organization. If it means that we need to take a step back for a year, it's not like you're already in the second, third, or fourth seed. You're already in the shit fest, so might as well stay there for another couple of years and improve and take the big stride moving forward, and allow Darko to build something, because it seems like a guy who has that IQ to be able to do that. So let's see what happens next. Let's hope that now I'm finally excited to continue to watch this season, because it was becoming like freaking, watching paint dry. But otherwise, let's see. Masai has made some good moves. I think we got younger, we got better, we got some more understandable, more complementary pieces with Scotty, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Anyways, that's what I have for you guys for this video. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you guys enjoyed the video. Even if you didn't enjoy it, just hit it, man. Thanks. See you guys later.